What's up, people? Mentality Focus, episode number 7. We're back again, and Alan has joined us, so we're very happy about that. So, today we decided to choose a topic that is also closely related with the other topics that we've spoken about in the previous episodes, because personally, what I think, and also what I realized as soon as I started to do sports, is how well it translates, and transfers over to other areas of your life, and how much value there is to gain from doing sports, but in specific martial arts. Because I was doing weightlifting since I was 16, but for me, the moment I started kickboxing and doing MMA, that was like a big game changer for me. So, and of course, Alan has a lot more experience in martial arts than I do personally, because actually Alan is the one that got me into martial arts in the first place. So that's why that's why I think it's I think it will be a very interesting discussion to discuss to discuss how martial arts and how sports in general like transfer over in your other areas of life, like in your personal development, your building up character, in your business, in your career, and in your relationships. So Alan, as you're the one that got me into martial arts in the first place, like, why is it in particular that you're training and that you chose martial arts as your thing when you were because how long have you been training?
Right now, it's I started in 2010, so now it's going to be about 12 years since I've start training. The only regret that I got about it is that why I did not start sooner and so on. That will be the only regret. But yeah, it's important, as you mentioned, like there are several differences between practice martial arts and practice another kind of sport. I think that I speak like most of the people in their audience. They practice another sport. I mean, it's not bad, but in the short, medium, and long term, you are not going to get like the benefits that you get like from martial arts. Like, can you explain by yourself, like maybe what was like the feeling that you started to have when you started to practice martial arts?
Well, the biggest difference, and let me start with a story. So I knew from the beginning that I really wanted to go to a good coach. So I was living in in the countryside of the Netherlands, and I wanted to go to a really good coach. And there was a guy named Fred Royers. He is he's one of the pioneers of kickboxing in the Netherlands. Like, he puts together with like some other people, he puts kickboxing on the map, and that's why kickboxing is like massive in the Netherlands. So but I remember when I started training with him, somehow he had a thing for me. He was like, yeah, that guy, he has a lot of potential, but we just need to get it out of it. So one day I came and we started training, and we started with shadow boxing, and it was one of my first my first lectures. So we were shadow boxing in the front of the mirror. I remember like he was standing in front of me, and I was just throwing a basic jab and cross, and he went just like in my face, like, because I was not holding my guard up and bringing your hands back to your face as soon as you finish your attack. So, but in that moment, everybody was like, "Whoa," I mean, that's the difference. I mean, the reason is that what martial arts teaches, what for example weightlifting and bodybuilding does not, is that how to take a hit, how to take feedback, how to learn from your coach, and that kind of stuff. Of course, he gave me that bitch slap, because that those are the moments at which you learn. Because if you're never going to take a hit and never going to get any pain, then you'll never level up. Like, leveling up is ultimately painful. So that's ultimately why for me kickboxing was a big game changer.
Yeah, actually, I think that you nailed like an important detail about the martial arts. When you start to practice martial arts, and it's different from another sports, is that if you are not like doing properly, you get the consequences from that. It's different, for example, when you, I don't know, when you're practicing football, that is like most of the case of the people. Um, you you know like you can have a bad technique for the kicking the ball or to receive a pass or something, and like at some point, like the worst thing that can happen to you is that you miss a pass, or you fail the reception of that pass, or like you miss it, or like somehow. But in martial arts, yeah, you feel the consequences, as you mentioned it. You receive the feedback, and that's like one of the most important things that the people in martial arts that we learn, because like growing up is painful. Growing up is painful as fuck. I think that the modern society right now is stopping us like from trying to grow up, because it's painful, and they're saying like, yeah, like we're here to help you. uh, we're going to protect you from the war and all the horrors of the wars and all the pains of the war. And in that moment, like, you will love us, like, uh I see many people that get in on board with this idea, but it's a bad idea, because on the long run, like, it does not allow you to grow up. um Recently, like, the somebody in my family passed away. I was just remembering like all the things that we went together. And yeah, like, when I remember all of this, like, I remembered, like, there was so much pain, there was so much suffering, but also there was like so much learning experience. So, in martial arts, you will focus, you will do the things in a proper way, and if not, your coach is going to, like in your case, the coach is coming, and he's going to correct you. And if not, if you are sparring, or you are even in a real fight, and you are not doing this properly, like, um, somebody else is going to correct you. But it's important that you learn that it's better that your coach, or some of your sparring matches, or even somebody in the streets, like, come and corrects your way. Because like, when life come itself and it corrects you, that's the most painful thing that you are going to feel in your life. Like, uh life lessons are not nice at all. They are I think that they are like the most painful shit that you can ever feel as a human. So
Yeah.
it's better to start the forging your character. It's better to start to learn how to receive the critique from somebody else, and is a key component to start to learn how to control your emotions. Because it happens to me many times, like, we are doing sparring and so on, and then, like, somebody gets angry, and they think, or they feel that is personal, and they just start, like, they just start to punch or to kick, like, with bad intentions, like, it's another thing that maybe it comes with experience. But when you're like sparring, you can feel when a punch or a kick, it comes like, in a normal way, and you can feel when it comes with intentions of hurting you in a
Yeah, like
physical way.
in an aggressive manner. Like, oh yeah, this guy just hurt me, so I'm angry, so I need to punch back. But that's not why we train.
Yes,
Like, we train to control those impulses.
yes,
We learn to
exactly.
control we learn to control that, so that because you learn to control these emotions, you can use that in anything in life. I
Yes,
mean, there's nothing more
exactly.
painful. There's nothing worse than there's nothing worse than getting punched in the face by somebody and walking, I don't know, like walking like Dr. House because you received like such a bad low kick during a sparring session. You know, I mean, that's something that you feel, you know, in a moment, like you're in your business or in your career and your boss gives you feedback, or you receive like something is not going well in your business, you receive the feedback. It's not going to be as hurtful as it is, because you know, I've been through much worse. Like, I know how to deal with pain, and that's essential. And that's why I think martial arts is essential for for anybody that wants to build character and develop themselves.
Yeah, as I mentioned, that's a key component. In another sports, as I told you, I gave the example of the football, because I think that every guy at some point in their lives, like, were playing football.
Yeah.
For example, in football, what can happen is that you get angry because of some situation, and then, you know, the referee comes and they shows you the red card, and it's like, okay, you know, like, you are out, and that's it. But in this situation, there is not. You know, like, there is no way that that you run away in a real life situation. And the fighting, any combat sport is preparing you for that. You will learn to control your feelings of how they call it, uh, fight or flee. Because that feeling is like deep into the root of our brain. We have that as a reflex. It's fight or flee, because it's survival. So
Yeah,
as
fight or
you
flight. Yeah, fight or flight. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. uh, that feeling is deep into the core of our brain. It's called the reptilian brain, and the reptilian brain, it just works in two switches. It works into pleasure, or it works into pain. But if you train yourself to be into a pain state, then, like, all those difficult decisions that you need to take into your life, into your work, into your relations, and so on, uh, they are going to be less emotionally painful, because you're trained to be you're training yourself to be under pain most of the time, and you're training your mind to be under pain most of the time. So I don't recall, besides the football, or maybe swimming, or the I don't know, ice hockey, for example. Like, I know that your evil stepdad practice ice hockey. Um, Even with that, that's a benefit that none of these sports is giving you, compared to the martial arts.
Yeah.
So,
And also,
so
I also like that you mentioned that the yeah, like it makes you grow up, because nowadays there isn't much reason for any person, but especially not for men to grow up and develop themselves and build up their character. I mean, you could, for example, like 2 episodes ago, I spoke about this. Like, you can live. Nowadays, it's possible that you just work at a desk job, like pressing random buttons, and like, you come home, you play video games, and like, you're never challenged in your life. Like, no, never, you're never challenged in your life. I mean, of course, like, life seems very comfortable, but ultimately, are you going to be happy are you going to be happy that way? Like, absolutely not. Like, I am very happy because I learned I learned lessons, and I moved forward. I moved forward in my life. That is why that's why that's when I'm very happy, and it's also why I believe anybody will be happy, because human beings are made to uh, to strive forward to some and to build something up. And the first thing that you should do is build up yourself.
yeah, what you mentioned is totally true. But for the people who lead our civilizations, like, let's call it however, you, whatever you want, like the 1%, or the plutocracy, or whatever. this is not convenient like for these people, because what they need is people who has like some
Yeah, just
qualified
the people are
technical
comfortable.
skills.
Like, yeah,
It's comfort is what these people need is somebody who has high technical skills or capabilities, and they do not ask questions, and they do not put everything that they say to them into debate. It's supposed that we should accept what these people is saying as it's coming like word from God. Um, that's stupidity. But these people and this progressive movement are pushing all the time for things like safe space, and it's a fake freedom of expression. Like yeah, like you can consider yourself to whatever or whomever that you want. Uh-huh. And that's stupidity. It's not possible that you have the freedom to call yourself to whatever you identify, like a Apache attack helicopter, and then you have not the freedom to travel to your neighbor countries. So we see how these people is distracting us from what the real matters. And with this distraction, the people is getting the idea that they are fighting for something that is nice, that is right, and they forget about themselves. Like if you want to change the world, the first thing that you need to change is yourself, and the only thing that you can change yourself is with challenge. I with this I don't mean that okay, like go outside and try to fight a pro fighter, because it is not. It will take time. Everybody needs to learn. There's a curve of learning, but what we need to do right now is to reject the modernity and to embrace the masculinity. At the end of the day, what do you want for yourself? Do you want to be all the time a person who is behind a desk and, as you say, like pushing buttons, and
yeah,
then with the snap of the finger, like the boss says, okay, I don't like you anymore, I don't like this, I don't like that, and then like they kick you out, and somebody else is coming and like doing the same. Like what the people around you in your workplace or your friends or even the girl that you are like trying to get with, um, what is going to be the memory that they are going to have from you if you decide to move from one place to another, or you are forced to move from one place to another? That's something that as a person you need to think, and you need to take care of, not because at the end of the day it's important what these people is going to think, but that will serve to you as a parameter, as a benchmark to know what you're doing, like with your person. Like, are you funny? Are you relatable? Um, are you somebody who's like easy to talk with, or you're totally like the contrary? Like, you're quiet, you're shy. People try to talk to you, and you don't know how to follow the conversation well. Obviously, I know that many of the people in the auditory they are going to be in this case. And the situation is that you need to move away from this case and start to be more sociable, more relatable, somebody funny, somebody who is going to be like nice to meet and funny to remember.
yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like definitely. But let's go back because we're kind of like getting off track, So
Yeah, I
that
know
is
that I drift,
yeah, yeah, like
but what I
no,
make
but
with
yeah,
my
you're
point
right.
is
You're
that
right. Yeah,
what I make with my point is that the people usually they do not try the chance to do this stuff. They do not try to be like somebody different, because all the time there's the fear of like I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to fuck it up. I'm going to fuck it up. And then when they fuck it up, you have like that emotional pain that you know that you fuck it up. But it's different if you are already practicing martial arts and if you are not, because if you're already practicing martial arts, that feeling of hurt is going to hurt, but it's not going to hurt like that much. You will be, and even if it hurts, like you will be able to control it even better than if you are not like training. That's as we say, like, yeah, like I was like drifting away a little bit, but that's the reason why I was like drifting away.
Yeah, like it's super important. Yeah, the reason that I say like, yeah, there's no reason for people nowadays to grow up is because you can be so comfortable like all your life, but it's a recipe. It's ultimately a recipe for a life of empty, like a life of emptiness. If you really want because if you really want to achieve something in any area of life, you will face pain, you will face challenges, and there's no bigger, for me personally, I know that pretty much nothing is a challenge except going here to the gym and sparring with people that stood in the ring, that destroyed many people in the ring. That's, for me, like, that's the whole day. For me, making, I don't know, 100 sales calls a day, it's just like, well, it cannot be worse than that. I mean, getting punched in the, there's nothing worse than getting punched in the face and really getting hurt. When somebody gives me a rejection on the other side, is like a sales call. It's like, yeah, could be worse. I mean,
Yeah, like happens.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
move on. Whatever.
like stuff happened. Like, he didn't punch me in the face,
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, that's essential to understand. Like, it builds character, and it really builds a thick skin the moment you start to practice martial arts. And of course, you cannot start sparring with the best people in your gym like straight away. Even though, yeah, okay, like practically you can, but I mean, ultimately, you build up your skill like over time, because all of that stuff that you like, the stuff that you see in the stuff that you see at Glory or you see at UFC, like, all of it seems so simple. Like, oh yeah, I can do it if I just train for 3 months. But like, it requires so much skill, and it's so much practice. It's so much freaking practice. And yeah, I realized that even after like 2 years of practicing kickboxing, that there's still so much to improve upon, and still so much to learn. And yeah, that's like the challenge. That's what makes me train every day, and that's what makes me train like every single freaking week in kickboxing.
Yeah. When you mention like the importance of going into the gym and like spar with the people in there, there's another thing that maybe the people they do not realize it. Like when you play football and stuff, like you have your football partners, and like all the people that you hang around to play football. But when you met somebody in your martial arts academy, and you start to go like regularly, you become part of the team, and most of the time it's going to be people that you can count on if you have like some adversity. Some of the best friends that I have in like right now in my life, like I met them in there. If I have some kind of adversity, like I know that I can count on them, I can call them, and then like they're going to help me to fix the situation. So the social aspect about that, it's also, I think, that like quite important. Maybe the people in the audience is not that skillful, like being social and so on. So one good step will be to go into the martial arts academy and start to practice your martial arts skills, and start to practice also your social ability skills, because many of the people who is in there also is not going to be like so skilled. Okay, maybe you can find somebody, but it's going to be like one between, I don't know, 50 persons. So you will find somebody who is going to be relatable to you, who shares like some of the same struggles that you're sharing on, and they are not going to be like that harsh, like when you fuck it up like somehow. And usually in Mexico we say something like, you met your real friends when you are at the hospital, at jail, and at somebody's death. But if you do not have hopefully nobody needs to go like that far, but also you can know who is at your side when you have a fight. So when a fight, if a fight breaks in, and then you have like some people at your side that they say like, yeah, you were your friends and stuff, and then the fight breaks in and they run away, you know that they are not your friends. So why do not skip like that part and go straight for the martial arts academy and start to train, and you start to see who is going to stand like next to you when you have the need to do it, because that's another situation. Like you need to stand for yourself. If you do not start to stand for yourself, like nobody else is going to do it. And if they are going to do it, they are going to use you or manipulate you for whatever is their interest or reason.
Yeah, there's so many things to dissect. I mean, ultimately also the fact that if you know that somebody's trained and if you start training for yourself, it builds up your level of assertiveness. Because it builds up strength, and it builds up your ability. Also, it builds up your ability to speak up for yourself and to stand up for yourself.
Yes.
And that is super,
it builds your
important.
self-confidence.
Everywhere, it builds up confidence, exactly. And that is essential, in any area of life whether you're negotiating business or you're maybe you're just going to high school. Like even there, it's important. Like in any like from the day you were born till the day you die, it's going to be important that you're assertive and you stand up for yourself, because nobody else is going to do it for you, even the people that deeply care for you. So you need to gain that strength yourself. And also, another point that you mentioned is that you become really good friends with the people in the academy, because it's maybe it will sound like cheesy, but like you build up your character like together with the people that are also training in the gym. And let's say fighting is very primal, so that's why the moment you're sparring with people, ultimately, of course, it's a playful thing, but in the reality, like in reality, like it's basically like you're punching each other in the face, which is of course not normal to do, but it's a very primal thing to do, and it really builds bonds between people. And that's why, like, I've never had people that never had any martial arts training, they think that the people at these kinds of gyms, they are very mean, and that something bad might happen if I just show up there and I'm going to train with these people. Man, like it's completely the opposite. Like all the people, I've never had any I've never had any. Of course, there's like some bad instances that happen, but like the people like the rotten apples that come to train at a martial arts gym, they come and they're also gone like very soon, because they do not fit in. If you're going to be an asshole and just going all out and just trying to hurt people, you're going out. You're going out in like you can come a couple times, but everybody and nobody of course going to want to talk to you. But that also builds like a bond between the people that are actually in the group. So
as you mentioned, like to practice martial arts, it boosts your confidence. It builds up your confidence, and that's helpful for every aspect of your life. So my advice, and I believe that also your advice to the people, the audience, is that if you never try to do martial arts, like this is the time to start to do it. because like even if the people who loves you, they are like willing to stand for yourself, like they cannot be with you like all the time, like it's not that your mom is going to take you to workplace and stay in there like in there for the whole day with you, that's impossible. uh, so yeah, like go to the martial arts, start training. Is going to be difficult, but everything in this life when you start is difficult. And
Yeah,
after
talking,
that
walking, like
you
everything.
will,
Yeah.
yeah, so after that like you will start to see like you will start to see like small improvements into your life and stuff. One advice that I give to the people who is like all the time starting is that also do not get overexcited, because I saw it with many people. um they just start to train and they start to discover that yeah, like I have the power, I can do this, I can do that, I can do whatever I want. And then like they almost feel invincible. They go into the street and they get into fights and then they get destroyed,
Yeah.
because they were just starting, and that self-confidence was just was at the beginning of the building, of the building up. When this thing happened, like they get knocked out or they lose the fight, and then like immediately like they drop the martial arts academy. So that's an
Yeah.
important thing that they need to remember. Like, okay, go in there, start to see the improvements into your life, but they do not get overexcited. We trained to fight with the aim to, at the end of the day, avoid the fight. Never go yourself, insult the people, be disrespectful, and start a fight for yourself. Because martial arts is not at all about that. Martial arts is about discipline, it's about respect, it's about understanding the people, and ultimately, as I say, like we train to fight, to not fight, to try to avoid fight. If you see yourself in one situation and you cannot talk your way out, well, is not is not another way. Well, it's time that you go fight and kick the other people's ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly that's also exactly why I think, yeah, like you mentioned, it's very important for people to understand that you train martial arts ultimately to never have to use it. Of course, you use it like to build up your strength and to to become stronger, to get more confident, to build up character and of course learn life lessons. But you never use it to intimidate people, to to bully people, or to beat people up, or beat somebody outside of the gym up. Like, never. That is super important for people to understand. It is you're doing this type of training only for yourself, because it's ultimately for your own self development and for your own for your own character that you do this type of training.
Yeah, I think that's something that we need to point is that the people can think that maybe martial arts training it's like a separate subject or topic from building the business success, social success, relationship success. It is not. The people need to understand that to build a place, you need some pillars, and to build your success into these areas that I already mentioned, you need a martial arts pillar. Maybe you can try yourself and go ahead to build it with some other pillar or some other subject, but it's not going to be as good as if you build it with the martial arts. And when we mention about that, like I will suggest a martial arts that is like based on contact. We have in full contact, because we have some martial arts that being honest, they are martial arts, but they are more like exhibition. For example, if you go and you try to take karate or taekwondo, it looks nice, but in a real life scenario, those kicks, they are not going to hurt anybody, not at least in a way that they are going to stop an aggression or to catch or like to put enough pressure into the other people to us like for stopping the aggression, like that's the situation with that. So also at some point it happens to many people that I know. They are fans of kickboxing and everything that is standing, but at some point, like, you will need to go into the floor. Then when you are into the floor, that's a different story, total different story. So for that, like, I suggest the people, even if they do not like it, go and practice wrestling, go and practice judo, go and practice Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's it's the whole package. As a person,
Yeah, MMA is
and
the whole
as a
package.
martial
Yeah.
arts, yeah, and as a martial arts person, you need to work your experience and your expertise in all this. When you are standing, and then the moment when you are grappling, and then in the moment when you are already into the ground. So I think that with this, like, we are wrapping up everything, or I don't know, like, tell me if maybe we lose something or forget something. So.
No, I think we covered. Yeah, I think we covered the most important lessons for people, like the most important things with regard to this subject. So if you have nothing to add, then yeah, I think it's a good time to wrap up.
Well, then I will just say that to all the people at the audience that, okay, you motherfuckers, it's time to get up and put your asses to work. There's shit to do, and the shit is not going to do it yourself. Somebody has to do it. So go over there and make monies. Go over
Yeah,
there and make a life memorable. Okay.
yeah, yeah, indeed. So, peace.